Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy and I am on a financial freedom journey with my family, but that is not all I do, right? I have a life outside of budgeting and saving money and all of those things, which include periodically taking vacations with my family, which I was so thrilled this year with our vacation. We just got back. We went for 8 days at the end of March. It was a wonderful trip. I'm so happy to share about it today. We're going to be going over our budget for our vacation / how much we spent. We didn't necessarily go in with like a specific budget, but we were hoping to keep it slightly cheaper than previous years. So I have filmed, this is my third vacation budget recap that I've filmed. I will post the other two that I've filmed previously in the bio if you guys want to go check those out. But this is our third vacation that we are sharing on this channel and how much we spent and all of the details. So I hope you guys enjoy and let me know in the comments down below if you've taken a vacation this year or if you have anything upcoming. I would love to hear about it. So this year, like I said, we went on an 8-day vacation. This is our third year going with my sister and her family. And again, I've shared the other 2 years in past videos if you guys want to go check that out. My goal for this year was to make it the most affordable trip we've had yet, and I did do that. So I'm happy to report that we did spend a little bit less money this year than we did last year, and we spent a little bit less money last year than we did the year before. So we're on like a positive trajectory with our vacation spending, which feels good because we are still having super amazing times, and I am just so grateful that we were able to do this for our family. Like I said, 8 days with my family, my sister's family. My sister has 4 children, I have 3, so 7 kids. We had 11 people in this house staying together. It was so fun. Seriously, like some of my favorite memories are made on these vacations. I'm so incredibly grateful that we are able to do this, and it's so fun. So at the end of this video, I will share some pictures from the trip, so stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and go through all of the things that we spent money on. I kind of did broad categories, so we can just talk through those. And again, obviously we don't really have income for this, but the total amount that we spent was spent from our vacation savings. We save all year long for these vacations. And then usually if we get like a lump sum from like a bonus or like tax refund or anything, we usually put a chunk of that into the vacation fund. We also put all of the interest we earn throughout the entire year in our high yield savings account into our vacation fund as well. It's almost $100 a month at this point that we're able to put additionally towards our vacation sinking fund because of our savings. We keep all of our savings in one account. So like we have, $30,000+ in that account at all times because our emergency fund is $25,000. So we get quite a bit in interest every single month, and that goes to this as well. So that is kind of how we fund that account. And again, we usually take 1 vacation a year and we spend right out of that. So first category for our vacation budget recap is our house. So obviously we needed housing for our trip, and we did stay in one house this time the entire time. Last year we actually split our trip up into 2 different like blocks. We stayed in Orlando, and then we stayed in like the St. Pete area for the second half. This trip we stayed in Panama City Beach the entire time for the whole 8 days. We stayed in the same condo. It was literally right on the beach. It had a pool. It was amazing. It was one of my favorite houses that we've ever stayed at. So we stayed there for, I think 7 nights, I think. And that was for our half $2,800. So obviously that was our largest expense, which is to be expected. Again, we split that with my sister and her husband. So that was our half of the house. So obviously a very expensive house for a week, but definitely worth it. It was absolutely beautiful. It was on the top floor of the condo. It was amazing. It had a giant deck with amazing views, and it was right on the beach. So we literally could just walk right out. We went down the elevator and walked right out basically to the beach. So it was super nice, and I would definitely stay there again. I will say this was our first time being in Panama City Beach. I've never been there before. Typically we are further south in Florida, so it was slightly colder than our previous trips, but there was really only 2 days of the 8 days that we were there that were like cold, I would say, like where we didn't really go to the beach. But the other days were like mid to high 70s, and it was great weather for the beach, like perfect for me. We're from Wisconsin, so it was still like hot to us there, even when it was like a little bit cooler than maybe average. So second thing was our flights. So we did obviously fly to Florida, and we only spent $55 on our flights because if you guys have followed me for a while, we use a Southwest credit card. If you guys are interested in that card, I will link it in the bio. But we use a Southwest card for the majority of our purchases, and then we use it to book flights. I am actually making a change this year though. I think we're going to keep our Southwest card at least for now, but I'm also adding the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. So we just got that card recently, and I'm really excited about that card because it's great for travel hacking. I'm trying to get more into like the travel hacking world, but I'm still learning. So we are going to be using our Chase Sapphire Reserve card now as like our daily spending card. So yeah, we had enough points to book flights for all 5 of us for free, just using points. And then we just had to pay the like fees that you can't pay with your points. So it was $55 for the 5 of us to fly, which is amazing. Definitely helped us save. Then we also had a rental car because we needed to be able to get, to and from the airport and just around Panama City Beach. There was a lot that was walkable, but with young kids, like we probably could have walked some of the places, but didn't because like with a 3-year-old, please, like I'm not walking, almost a mile with a 3-year-old. Like, no, he's too unpredictable at this point. So we did have a rental car. We paid $450 for the rental car. We picked it up from the airport. We dropped it off at the airport. Very seamless process. We always book our rental cars through Costco. If you guys didn't know, Costco travel is amazing. I have had such good luck with them, and I always get a way better deal on rental cars when I go through Costco. So if you haven't, check them out. It was $450 for the rental car. Then we also had rental car gas, which we only filled up one time the entire trip. So it was literally $35 for the entire trip. We only had to fill up on our way to the airport on the way back because, like I said, we really didn't do a ton of driving when we were actually there. It was like the drive to the house from the airport and then just like very local, like short trips during the trip and then the trip back to the airport. So $35 in gas, which was great. We had groceries delivered to our house. I have Walmart Plus, and that comes in super clutch when we're on vacation because we can get delivery to wherever we're staying to. So we did get groceries delivered 2 times throughout our 8 days. So we got like the first half and then the second half, and that was total $400 for our half. We split it because we the kids just ate like the food, and it was just too hard to like try to do different trips. So we just got 2 big orders. They were both about $400, and then we just split them in half. So we paid about $400 for groceries. That is expensive for a week, but we obviously were getting things that like we normally wouldn't get. We were getting a lot of convenience food. We were getting a lot of like treats and snacks and things that we normally wouldn't purchase. So it's a fun trip. Like I don't count my like grocery spending on vacation. We know that it's going to be more affordable than going to a restaurant. So I am fine with spending more on groceries. And we did not spend a lot of money on restaurants, which we'll get to in a minute. We ate the majority of our meals at home. We packed lunches to go to the beach, and that worked out perfectly. Like there's nothing like a sandwich on the beach. Like, am I right? Like, oh my gosh, having a sandwich on the beach with like a very cold Diet Coke. Oh my gosh, I'm like drooling. So amazing. But we packed most of our lunches. We ate breakfast at the house, and we ate the majority of our dinners at home. We went out 3. We went out 3 nights for dinner. So I felt like that was pretty good for groceries. Next category, obviously restaurants. So we did go out to restaurants. We went out 3 times total. We spent $250. Now this would have been higher, but one of our meals was actually comped by the Airbnb. They basically like had a grill, but it didn't work. So we like bought a bunch of grill food and then like messaged the Airbnb, and they were like, yeah, like sorry, it's broken. We didn't realize we aren't going to be able to get out there to fix it. So they offered to cover us to like go out to dinner that night, which was incredibly kind and definitely not necessary, but we appreciated it so much. So we saved about $100 because they covered our food for that day. Or for that evening. So that was super nice. So we did spend $250 total on restaurants. So that was basically 2 dinners out and then the one that we didn't have to pay for. So 2 dinners out, and they were wonderful. Obviously, dinners in like a very touristy area are going to be more expensive. So for our family of 5, we spent like about $125 per dinner. But again, it was vacation, so we weren't like picky. We weren't like choosing restaurants based on cost or anything. Then we did actually go out for ice cream quite a bit. I think 3 times we went out to ice cream. We were trying like all the local places, which was super fun and no regrets. I think I gained like 9 pounds on this vacation. I'm like not even exaggerating, but it was so fun. So we actually spent $60 on ice cream out. Again, it was like about $20 per place that we went to get ice cream for us. My youngest doesn't like ice cream, so like usually I would get it like my own and then kind of split it with him, but he's not a huge fan. So that's that. Then parking. So the only place we actually had to pay for parking was the airport. So we drove our car to the airport and had to pay parking, which was $90 for the trip. I've like debated if we should just start like trying to Uber to the airport, but I think it would be like almost the same price or maybe a little bit more to Uber. So I don't know. We're going to keep driving probably, but it's getting to the point where like it almost might be more affordable to do an Uber so that we don't have to keep our car at the airport. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys do. Do you guys drive to the airport? Do you Uber to the airport? If I'm like going just myself on a trip, I always Uber because I don't want to have to like deal with parking and leaving my car there. But yeah, let me know what you guys do. Then we had Zoo World, which is a like place in Panama City that you can like feed animals. I will definitely put some clips of this at the end of this because this was like one of our favorite things that we did for the kids. It was super fun, super interactive. You got to feed birds and giraffes and goats and horses, and like it was so fun. So would definitely recommend Zoo World. We had a great time. It probably took us a few hours to go through it, so it was worth it to me. That was $111 for our family. And then the last thing that we spent money on was Gulfarium, which was actually in Destin or closer to Destin. I think it was closer to Fort Walton, which was fun. We went to Gulfarium on a day that it was raining because that was one of the 2 days that like we knew we wouldn't be able to go to the beach because it was like raining and cold and kind of crappy. So we went to Gulfarium instead. It was definitely fun. The majority of it is covered, so you can definitely do it when it's raining, but the dolphin show is not very covered. It was pouring rain when we went to the dolphin show and we were soaked. So yeah, that was a fun adventure, but I will definitely leave a lot of pictures at the end of this for you guys to see kind of what that looked like, but it was really fun, and that was $119. So that brings our grand total for the trip to $4,370, which again is the cheapest vacation we've been on. So that was a win. I'm super happy because we had a great time. It was wonderful. And I think we stayed for an extra day because I think last year we only did 7 days. This year we actually did 8. So we left on a Tuesday and we got back on a Wednesday. So it was really nice. Like it was a great time. I feel like we got a great deal for what we did on the trip. Like it was really fun. So yeah, that is all I have to share for this video. I will cut to some of the pictures and I'll play some music at the end so you guys can look at those if you're interested. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have taken any vacations this year. I would love to hear about them, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys.